I think most people understand that right now the software engineer and computer science job market is pretty tough. It can be pretty difficult trying to find a job. You can apply to dozens, hundreds of jobs and still not hear back from nearly that many or any at all. So in this video, I wanted to go over what you can do to make your resume stand out and also what you can do to make the job applying process both easy and how you can make sure that you're actually hearing back from companies instead of just sending resumes endlessly into the void, and hopefully actually hear back from a job and land interviews. So one of the first things I would say is before you even start applying to jobs or anything, make sure you have a good resume. My recommendation would be to get your resume reviewed by other people. There's a couple ways you could do this. You can have it reviewed on places like Reddit, Blind, or different Discord groups and stuff. I would recommend having one of those, and you can anonymize your resume. I'll link to a resume anonymizer down below. There's like several free ones out there. Or you can just do it manually. But either way, get your resume reviewed by someone to make sure that your resume is in good shape to actually send out for job applications. If you don't already have a resume or you're not happy with your current one as well, I would recommend using a resume template. There's plenty of these out there that you can use, but I'll link one down below that I feel like is a good fit. Following a template and having a basic structure to your resume will really help you. You can get creative with resumes, but I really feel like this isn't the best fit for a software engineer type job. It might be better for like creative roles and stuff, but for a software engineering job, I really feel like you can just have a plain template and it works fine. Now moving along to actually applying to the jobs that you want, there's a couple of different ways you could do this. The number one most obvious way is just cold applying, either on the company website or on LinkedIn or Indeed or something like that. You can just cold apply, hope for the best. Now it's pretty unlikely you're going to hear back from many jobs this way. I've found success doing it this way. However, the amount of jobs I hear back from is a very, very small percent of the jobs I've actually applied to before. So when I first applied to like Intuit and Amazon, I applied to a whole bunch of different jobs as well as those ones, and a lot of those I just didn't hear back from. So if at all possible, my number one recommendation would be get a referral if you can. Hopefully this is like someone you know, but if not, maybe a friend of a friend or someone you can reach out to that you have a relationship with that you can get a recommendation for a specific job. This will help your odds immensely in actually hearing back from the job, and it's super helpful in speeding up the amount of time it takes to actually hear back from jobs. Now another way you can get a referral is either through like Discord or Blind, which is an app that's like an anonymous social network for a lot of software engineers that they use. I haven't personally done this, but sometimes I've heard of people getting referrals through that and it actually helped them get a job. So you could definitely look into that as well. And then finally, if you're not able to get a referral, one other thing I've heard people do as well is to cold message people on LinkedIn. Now, one thing I will say about this is don't just spam people on LinkedIn, don't spam recruiters. That's not helpful and that's not going to land you a job. But if you really find a role that fits your specific needs and you've already applied to that role, you can reach out to recruiters for that company on LinkedIn, connect with them, send them a message, and see if they're able to look at your resume or at least have someone else look at your resume to see if you meet the qualifications for the role and if you're able to get a first interview or an online assessment for that role. Now, if you're not able to do either of those and you just want to cold apply, you can definitely do that. I would recommend using a tool like Simplify Copilot to automatically fill out the job application for you. This just makes it a whole lot easier when filling out job applications. You're going to be filling out a lot of the information again and again and again. So it helps to at least autofill some of that for you. Now this tool doesn't work like 100% of the time and you probably want to double check it, but it can be at least a little helpful for you to not have to fill out the same information again and again and again. As for what job boards to actually apply on, I honestly try to apply on the company website if at all possible. And usually I use Indeed, LinkedIn, and Wellfound to actually find the jobs that I'm looking for. And then I just go to the company website and apply directly if possible. One other tip I have, if you're cold applying, try and apply right after the job is posted or soon after the job is posted. Sometimes they post these jobs and a recruiter will go through like the first, 50 to 100 or whatever, however many resumes they receive. But if they receive, 2,000 applications or something, and you're that 2,000th resume that they receive, they might not read it. Like they might go through that first 500 or so. And then at that point, they might have already found the engineer they're looking for. So they don't need to go through those other 1,500 resumes to find a candidate. One other recommendation I would have is just track your applications through some sort of spreadsheet. I personally have used Google Sheets in the past and just tracked them directly there. I know Simplify, I think, has a way to track your job applications that you use through that extension. But find some way to track your applications. That way you're able to see what jobs you've applied to before, what the current status is, and if you've heard back, if you've done an online assessment, or what the current status is of that particular application. One final thought I have on getting interviews versus passing interviews. I think for getting interviews, if you're not getting any interviews, it's either your resume or you're just cold applying and you need to either do something different with your resume or apply differently or get a referral. If you're not passing interviews, that's going to be where you need to practice more leak code, more system design, more, JavaScript, depending on what type of interview you are getting and what interview you are failing. But I think just separating these out and figuring out what side of the process you need to work on will really help you out. And one final thought I do have is that cover letters are completely useless. They take so long to write. Sure, you can use ChatGPT or whatever to help you write them and stuff like that. But to me, I just find it a complete waste. So I wouldn't work on cover letters. I would just focus on your resume. And then beyond your resume, I would work more on getting referrals or cold messaging people on LinkedIn or through email. All right, so that's my tips for applying to jobs. Hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if you have any other tips down below. And then also let me know if you have any questions on applying to jobs or getting interviews or passing interviews. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'll catch you guys later and have a good one. Peace.